Yes, we are doing ASAP Rocky testing. Now, ASAP Rocky is a bloke who likes his bloody raps, he likes his chicken raps, and he likes his cloud raps, moreover, and bloody been up in this bitch for more than a decade now, man. Fucking oath, mate. Fucking skidsy, hey cuz. There is experimentation on this record, that much is obvious from the self-explanatory album title, as well as some of the more ambitious forms of marketing, such as dunking himself into ice water at a fucking auction house. Now, his rapping has always been trademarked by a darker cutting edge, yet still delivering infectious melodies and vibrancy through his use of sampling and features, and this record is no different, with some highlights being delivered through them. No more obvious than the bloody closer here, Purity, which features a Lauryn Hill sample that complements the mood. That song as well features Frank Ocean at his most densely evocative, with his organic stream of consciousness underbellying the faded, defeated quality of this closer and how that reflects maybe even drug abuse. Ocean doesn't just keep to one track, however, he can be heard briefly on changes and underscored by instrumentals that actually could have fit on Blonde as well. Put simply, there is raw talent spread thin all over this album's entire length, with the highs underlining the lows all the more. In some ways, this and Pusha T's newest album are like yin and yangs in how they have the same level of talent and ambition, yet the end products are exact opposites in terms of indulgence, length, and quality control. Where Pusha T's Daytona is maybe even lacking in substance, this is locked and loaded to the gills with different renditions of tittering, darkly webbed bassy beats and explorative mood changes. And the vibes and production styles notably shift from the first half of the record, seesawing from banger city to more cerebral, modulated and downtrodden territory, perhaps even mimicking the highs and come downs of drugs like Danny Brown did on Old. It is commendable for the ambition and to some extent execution, but moreover frustrating and lacking in impact, not to mention the sheer inconsistencies in the track listing. Honestly, it serves mostly to derail the momentum gained on this record and just simply make it meander. I mean, let's just run through the fucking cohesion up until Cool Drops, boys. The beat on Distorted Records has this static grained bassy bass with convincing layers, and it's just a great opener, especially for how disorientatingly opiate slash benzo induced it feels like. I almost imagine him breaking into verses from Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe when he comes in saying, I can feel the bass. Also, the song following, ASAP Forever, has these reverse tracked synths, which remind me of the beat change on $D, I suppose you could call it, one of the more amazing songs off of his last album. But Tony Tone's vibe and beat is the one that deserves the most attention and recognition. It has that fucking modulated, almost ambulance siren sounding fucking sample carrying the harmony, and it is really so harmonic, not to mention psychedelic. I really love how ASAP's flow rides over the top of this as well, and how effectively his squad's drug fucked yes are fucking woven in, boys. Yes. And speaking of vibes, the sleeplessness on Fuck Sleep is apparent from the very first moments, with the muted, pondering beat and ASAP's mumbling almost under his breath while maintaining an interesting flow. And FKA Twigs' feature on Fuck Sleep is kind of special here as well, with her maintaining her customary vulnerability and angelic cadence in her voice. It's just gorgeous and underused. Great track. And look, I need to bring up Praise the Lord as well, because it's so tedious in a way, with the whole song revolving around Skepta's stop-start hook and a harmonizing MIDI flute. I praise the Lord and break the law. Yet even this track has something to offer in just how unarguably and annoyingly catchy that hook is. Many moments from there on though are simply unnecessary or formless. Take Cool Drops featuring Kodak Black, which middles this album with a rare moment of atmosphere and feeling about Kodak's trials and tribulations. Quite literally, only it meanders and doesn't compositionally deliver on any of its promises from the first minute, where it otherwise could have. That is one of the more inoffensive examples, mind you, as it can be drummed down as an atmospheric track with a deeply personal and important statement, but there are half a dozen others to pick on, whether that be the Tedious Brother Man or Kids Turned Out Fine. And there is something so familiar to Kids Turned Out Fine, like something really psychedelic, and maybe even Mac DeMarco influenced about the guitar sample and tone. I wouldn't even be surprised if Steve Lacy produced this either. But it's just another track without any real bite. Now, despite the motley of criticisms you could successfully deal out on this record for its imperfections, crucially for me, it's more fun than a fucking bloody day at the zoo, mate. OG Beeper, for example, is much like Praise the Lord in that it is effective in just being catchy, even if it is only one element of the beat, and a very simple, replicable flow and lyrics, and fucking it just still works for what it is. The features are one of the reasons I think this album succeeds in being so enjoyable, adding weighted talent and diversity to the fucking track listing whilst still being coherently worked in, as opposed to the countless examples of abrupt shoe-ins in many other albums in this genre. Even Juicy J's verse on Guns and Butter is woven in convincingly, which you might not have guessed given his contrasting performance on Katy Perry's Dark Horse. There is indulgence on this track though. Take the much affected sampling of Yam's Days 2018 and how the gunshots are used to add a theatrical vibe to an incident which didn't actually occur. Also, the pitch shifted vocals carrying half a hook here isn't the greatest thing I've ever heard either. And you could say the same for Purity, which just flitters out in a way, and Brother Man, which almost sounds like an uninspired Kendrick Lamar track. Even 100 here contains this one scratchy element in the background of the beat which reminds me of a Brockhampton song. So yeah, this is a mixed bag, that's all it really is. ASAP is really talented though, and his flows are very melodic and dynamic in their own way, and it serves him well. If you were to keep the first 5 songs and add the most necessary 5 from the next 10, you would have a pretty fucking good rap album, but as it stands, it's all still pretty fun to flick through, at least the first half, and so yeah, I'll give this a 3.3, and leave it at that, boys. Pretty fun album, honestly, so yeah, just catch you later, how about that? I really do appreciate new subscribers and likes and pistachios and comments, all helps the channel grow. Just have a good one, alright? Way!